So who owns the rights for each major entertainment franchise? With the strikes going past 100 days now, I thought it might be interesting to see which studios hold on to what IP. So let's take a look. We can start with Paramount. Transformers is probably their most important thing, especially as they try to build out a Hasbro universe, but they also have Star Trek, Scream, and Mission Impossible. And on the TV side, we can't forget Yellowstone, which has a huge viewership. Universal, Fast and Furious lives here, and we also have Jurassic Park and the Halloween movies. Of note also is Universal's partnership with Nintendo, which got us the Mario movie, which is still the box office topper of the year, and that's very likely going to expand. We can't forget Minions. It's also looking like this is currently Nolan's studio of choice, which is a big deal for them. And on the streaming side, Universal's Peacock still has The Office, which is still very culturally important. Then Disney is just massive. All of Marvel, all of Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Pixar. We should probably keep an eye on Pirates of the Caribbean, every live action Disney remake, and the classics. And the Avatar franchise is here now too because they bought Fox. Warner Brothers Discovery has been having a bit of trouble, but they do have a lot of important IP. The DC universe lives here, so we'll see what happens with that. The Harry Potter Wizarding World, which is getting a remake show. There's also the very popular Conjuring universe and the Godzilla Kong Monstersverse. And now we have Barbie, a massive success that is going to expand with Mattel. On the TV side, there's HBO, which includes Succession, Game of Thrones, and of course Friends is on Max. Sony is a very interesting player. Their biggest franchise is likely Spider-Man, which includes the Tom Holland MCU movies, but also the Venom Morbius villainverse. There's also Ghostbusters, with the last one doing pretty well. And on the TV side, Sony is actually the owner of the Breaking Bad universe, though not the distributor, but I'll give this to them. We shouldn't sleep on Lionsgate because while it's not a major studio, it has some serious IP. They have The Hunger Games, which is getting a prequel. There's John Wick's rapidly expanding world, the Saw franchise, and Twilight, which is apparently getting a show. And now the tech companies, which have quickly become major forces in Hollywood, starting with Amazon. The Boys is a pretty big IP for them, and it is expanding, though technically it's Sony. They have the TV rights to some of Lord of the Rings, which gets us Rings of Power. Now with Amazon's acquisition of MGM, they sort of have James Bond. Apple has a few. Everyone loves Ted Lasso, though it is a Warner Brothers thing. And then of course the eerie world of Severance. And then there's Netflix, which actually has a lot of buzzy titles. Rian Johnson's Knives Out world, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead with more coming from him, then just a whole bunch of shows. Stranger Things is massive, Squid Game, Avatar, and One Piece both getting live action shows. The Witcher, Umbrella Academy, Sandman, The Crown, even though yes, Netflix doesn't outright own all of that. Bridgerton is huge, Black Mirror, and The Phenomenon that was Wednesday, but again, not wholly theirs. Now, that's not everything, there's totally way more, but those are some of the major titles of today. Also, figuring out ownership can be messy, and production, distribution, and streaming are very different, so I tried to simplify, but in reality, everything has multiple companies on it. But yeah, if you're hoping for more content out of any of these, we should hope that the studios are soon able to give the writers and actors a fair deal.